Hi guys, it's Jevin again, and I promised to show you a methodology video. Somebody asked me a question: how do you know what to do when you are attacking a box? You know, it comes with some experience, but there is a method to it. So if you keep doing this enough, you develop your own strategy that you use for attacking boxes. But most of it comes down to repetition, really. And the first thing that I always do is to get as much information about the target as possible. So things like IP addresses, ports that are running, the services running on those ports, if there are any easily guessable user accounts. So generally as much information as I can gather about the box or the targets just to make the attack easier. So in this example, we are going to look at a machine on Hack the Box called AI, and it will be a fine opportunity for us to get a bit of a hang on how to connect to Hack the Box. There's a VPN that you need to connect to, and then how to start attacking the boxes. Okay, so I'll show you. I'm already on here, but let me just show you quickly. Once you log in, you can go to your dashboard, and this shows you a summary of what's going on here. But of primary interest to us will be labs and then access. I currently have a VIP access, so I can I've downloaded my VPN pack from here. Without a VIP access, you can still play Hack the Box. You can play. You can just can't play retired machines, but you can play the other machines in the lab. Okay, so since I already have my VPN pack, I'll just go ahead and launch my VPN access to Hack the Box so I can start playing the machines. Okay, so the machines I'm interested in are at the machine side. I can come to all, and then these are retired machines. These are active machines that you can have access to without a VIP access, but for access to the retired machines you require VIP access. So like I promised, I'll show you how to connect to Hack the Box with OpenVPN. And the thing is, once you get access, you are given an OVPN file which you can use for your VPN access. I'll show you how to connect. You simply type OpenVPN and then the file you've been given. I happen to have renamed mine to OVP. Sorry, let me navigate to the folder where this then is. Let's see. It's here. So OpenVPN ng.ovpn, and that's it. We'll begin the connection, and you see that my connection has been initialized. Once that's done, you can go ahead and start the machine. I have already done this, but let me just show you. So I'm playing the retired machine AI. So at the bottom here, you just hit start. There's an option here to start. I've already started the machine, so it is in action. I can choose to reset it, but it will take like 2 minutes, and I don't want us to wait 2 minutes before I can start attacking the box. So you just hit play like this. The machine starts, and then you can begin attacking it. One good thing is that the IP address is already provided, so you don't have to do a net discover or worry yourself about that. So I'm going to start attacking the boxes at 10.10.10.163, and I'll show you the things that I go through for my enumeration. Okay, so that's a box I'm pinging here. The first thing that I would do would be to do an nmap scan of the box. So nmap -sc for default scripts, -sv for enumerate versions, -t for the threads, and I mean I don't have to do a -pn. I can already ping the box. So then the IP address of the box I'm trying to reach, 10.10.10.163, and hit scan. Okay, so let's wait for the scan to finish, and then we can go ahead and start attacking the box. Okay, so the scan is complete, and we can see port 22 is open, SSH is running, port 80 is open, it's running Apache, and the title Hello AI, and that's about it. We see it's running Ubuntu. Ubuntu is the OS running on the target. Okay, now with this information, we can begin attacking the box. We have to do a little more enumeration. So I mean, I know SSH is open. I can try connecting to SSH to see if I can grab anything. If there's any information that's available. Let's say user. Let me try root at 10.10.10.163. Let's try Tor. Okay, so I can try brute forcing this if I have some passwords or accounts that I want to, but it's probably not going to work anyway, so I'll move on to a different attack vector. I see port 80. Usually I always start with port 80 if it's available, and I can simply browse to it. So I'll open a browser, and then I'm going to navigate to the IP port 80. Now one thing that I do also is once I know port 80 is open, I start doing some enumeration behind the scene, so I don't have to wait and manually have to go through the page and find out what's there. So there's a tool that you can run against port 80 or web servers, and there are several of them actually, but GoBuster and Derebuster. So what these tools do is that they run against the page and they try to find directories like maybe the IP /robots.txt, admin.php, admin.html, any of those, admin.php, any directory that's on the page that can allow you to gain access to the page or further gain more information, like readme.txts, so you generally have to go through the page, try and get as much information as you can. Now we know port 80 is open, it's running a web server here. We can check the source code. It's always a good place to start. Now view source code to see if there's any information available here that I can use. There doesn't seem to be much here. It's nothing useful. You can just go through the page and try and find out if there's anything that's meaningful, but there's nothing really here that jumps out at me, so I'll just close this. You can inspect the page if you think there's anything that's you can use, but there's really nothing here. So whilst I'm doing all of these manual tests, I will run GoBuster or Derebuster in the background. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, so GoBuster is already by default on your system. Let's see, GoBuster isn't installed. Okay, so let's see, GoBuster. So I have this installed here. Let me see. Okay, cd dots ls cd num scripts. Okay, so I don't have GoBuster on my box, but it should be if you have the latest Kali version. I believe they should already be on the latest Kali version. Let me check, confirm that. Let's see. So I'm using the 2017 version of Kali, but let's see if GoBuster comes installed by default. Kali. See, I think it's tools. Let's see. Let's see the listing of tools and see if GoBuster comes by default. So GoBuster Yeah, so you should have GoBuster by default if you have the latest version of Kali. I don't have, I'm using the older version, so I'll just use the search, which I've already downloaded. You can get the search. You just Google and look for it. Say the search GitHub, and just go and download it. So there's a der search tool. You can just git clone that. You can just say git clone and then paste the URL I just copied. This will download their search, but I already have this, so I don't need to do this again. So I just go ahead and run their search against the targets. So let me cd into the their search master directory, and then clear the screen, and then I say their search. It's a Python tool, so Python 3 their search the py -u http -u 10.10.10.163 -w is for the word list. -u is just the URL I want to point my tool to, and then the word list. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use pick a word list, and I'm going to try and brute force the page, the directories. I'm going to run various sample words against the page and see which of them actually responds, and then I can navigate to those directories. So have a word list in user share. You should have that also. I'll show you how to get that there. Basta. This is by default on Kali. I don't think I installed this. Directory -list -1.0.txt, then -e for the extension php txt, and then I want to exclude 403s and 404s. Let me show you something before I run this command. Let me show you. Okay, so just hit enter. I'm going to cancel this, clear the screen, and I'll show you. If you do a locate user share, in fact, let me navigate to that folder, open a new tab, and then move into user share word lists. If I do an ls, you see we have lots of word lists here. The one I'm using is the directory list from dirbuster. So if I go into dirbuster ls, you see there are lots of word lists here, but well, I usually run this one. Sometimes to be on the safer side, you can run the medium one, which will cover lots of stuff. But in this case, I don't want to. I just want to run this small size word list. Another very good word list is the rocku text.gz. So you can just simply unzip this into the directory and then use that. It's very good for brute force and user accounts. And then we use that when we're working on the Mr. Robot Phone Hub machine. Okay, so I'm going to run the command. Not in this window, here. Okay, so I'm going to run this against the website, the web server, and we'll see what comes up. So naturally, while this is running, I may look for pages like admin.php. There's no page like that. Say admin. Okay, not found. So what about stuff like robots.txt? It's usually some of the things I would manually try to find. But whilst this is running out, whilst I'm doing these things manually, I would always have this in the background, trying to find as much info as I can, if I can get anything on the page. Because as you can see from our nmap scans, we only have ports 80 and 22. We don't seem to have a way of getting in through port 22 unless we have an account. I will try and brute force it, and this can be kind of slow. So I think our attack vector here is through port 80. Let's see what we can find. Let's navigate the page itself. Let's see. So it says artificial intelligence. It's using an AI engine. It's currently home, I think. Yes, index.php. Looks like everything has a PHP. It's about. We are working on a search engine using voice recognition from audio files using artificial intelligence. Okay, that's interesting. AI. Okay. Well, okay, so this is interesting. We have an AI.php, and this seems to accept a WAV file and processes it. Okay, there's a contact. Okay, drop a message to Mr. Reboot. Okay, interesting. So let's go to the AI page. Seems interesting. So this seems to accept a WAV file and processes it. Let's see how far our scan is. Our scan is still scanning in the background. So this is the methodology I would normally just manually go through the page and see if I can find stuff whilst running an automated tool in the background. So drop your query using a WAV file. Okay, so I have on my machine TextWave. So TextWave is a program that allows you to type out words and then it converts it into a WAV file. Let me clear the screen and then I'll show you. cd see, hack the box AI. Okay, so I've already generated a file like that, but let me show you how I did that. So I can simply do an echo, say hello to you, and then pipe that to text to wave, and output that -o to say hello dot wave. Okay, so that generates that. Let's see if I can play the file AI, and I have hello dot wave. I hope this comes through my speaker so you can hear. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so yeah, I can upload this file to the website. Let's see, let's browse here and let me just, and then process it. Okay, and just like advertised, it says hello to you. Okay, so there seems to be a kind of SQL or database sort of thing running behind this web page. It's definitely taking our query and it's taking the input I'm giving to the website and it's passing it through some kind of query. Okay, so usually when we see query things, anything that has to do with databases, we can try SQL injection. That is really cool SQL injection methods where you can pass text files containing special SQL queries to see if you can get more information from the backend database. This is an example, but this one takes a WAV file, takes a sound file. So what we want to do is to try and push a SQL query in the form of an audio. So usually when you're doing you're trying to test out for SQL injection, you would normally go with a single quote sign, a single quote symbol, and see what you can pull from the page. So let's record something that says single quote. Let's see. Let's check on our scan. Still scanning. We have an uploads. Let's see what's here. Okay, so it's forbidden. It's present, but we can't access it. Okay, I think that's what this guy does for us. Anyway, let's go back to our original plan. We're planning on sending a single quote to as a WAV file. So let's go here. Let's say SQLI. Just call it SQLI, and let's send an open quote. So let's say open single quote. Okay, let's send that to the page and see what happens. So let's go to browse, SQLI the wave, and let's process it. Okay, so it says open single crude. You just know what I wanted to do. Did I type this thing wrong? I think I spelled quote wrongly. So single quotes. Okay, let's pass that to the site again. Okay, hopefully this one works. Let's see. Let's process this. Yeah, and we get an SQL syntax error. So it tells us you have an error in your SQL syntax, and check the manual that corresponds to you. So we know it's running my SQL behind the web server. Then this is good. I mean, so this gives us insight into what the application is doing, and so we can further test. We can try and SQL inject this page using the audio files, using the WAV files. So for instance, I could try and find out usernames behind this. I've already done this, so I mean, I know other forms of trying to get information might not work, but I know we can try and pull usernames and account passwords using the WAV files. So let's see. Let me create another WAV file that says that I'm trying to pull usernames from. So I can do a union query. I know if I do a union query, I can say, okay, single quotes and then union something else. Okay, so let me try that. Let me see. Let's leave this and say single quotes, and let me do a comma and say union, and let me select from. Let me select username from users. Users would typically be a table in there, so I can select usernames from users. Okay, let's run this and see. Okay, let me go back to page and let me browse and pick this audio file and process it. So this is really not part of the methodology video. I just want to show you the kind of thinking that goes behind this sometimes. So basically, if it's a web page, all I do is that I run go basta or there basta in the background against the page and see what I can find. I start with an nmap scan, find the ports that are open, and then I try to find as much information as I can. Unfortunately, this box only has two run-end service, two open ports, SSH and port 80. So we're kind of limited, but yeah, in terms of having a wide variety of ports we can use, but we can use the same methodology and the same mindset behind trying to gather information from this page. And I could pause the video and let us scan finish so we can see all the directories that we can actually access behind it. and then we can continue with the video. So essentially, I'm just trying to get past this SQL database. I'm trying to do a SQL injection and then pull a username account from there. So my syntax seems to be you don't select username from, nope, which is what I want to do. Is I want to do a union, select username from users, and then pass this, sorry, I should be passing the comma, I should be passing a delimiter, something I can close the query with. And let's see, let me quickly Google this. I know you can close off SQL statements that you're making with hyphen hyphen and space hyphen. So let's try that. Let's try that on the page. Hyphen hyphen space hyphen. And so I open a single quote and then I say hyphen hyphen space hyphen. Okay, let's try this. I need a space, sorry. Hyphen hyphen and space hyphen. So I'll show you the query that I'm trying to I'm actually trying to pass. So basically I'm trying to pass this. I'm trying to do a single quote and then a union and then a select username from users. Then I want to close off the query with hyphen hyphen space space hyphen. Okay, so I'll show you something else that I do also. Usually whilst I'm working on these things, I keep notes. So I'll be like running notes on the side. A very cool way of keeping notes is to use Cherry Tree. The Cherry Tree is a really cool utility. You can just download that. Just let me show you where you can get Cherry Tree from. Okay, you can just Google everything. I mean, there's a lot of research in doing this. So I don't know some of the things off head. I need to just Google or find out how to do this, how to do SQL injection, how to do. So you can look for very common SQL injection techniques and then apply that against the service you're attacking. I mean, once you get some information, you just Google and find out more. That's how the Cherry Tree program is. You can just download that. I already have Cherry Tree running on my system. Let's see if Cherry Tree. Yeah, so you can download Cherry Tree from the Ubuntu Software Center if you're running Ubuntu. I'm running this on my host system, not on my Kali box, but I keep notes on my host system. So I will show you. So this is Cherry Tree. Let me run a new instance of Cherry Tree and show you how that's like. So let's do a new window, and this is how Cherry Tree comes up, and you can create a new instance. So Cherry Tree allows you to organize your notes in a simple and straightforward manner. You don't have to really helps you keep this tree-like form of note keeping. That's very convenient to use. So I'll just demonstrate that using this as an example. If you do a Control N, you can create a new node. So I call this the machine I'm attacking called AI. Okay, then I can create like a sub node under this. So for instance, I did an nmap scan, so I can do Control Shift N, create a child node child node for me, and I can call this say nmap. Then I can paste my nmap results in here. Okay, so something to help me keep track of what I'm doing. So I can just copy my nmap scan here, so I know the pods that are open. I can quickly reference that. Cherry Tree, and then I paste my nmap notes here. Then I can start creating other sub nodes. Control Shift and we'll create a sub node and create another child node and give it a name. So I currently know port 80 is open. I can call this port 80. In fact, it would be nice to put this under the nmap. So when I do Control Shift N, create a child process under nmap for me, I can call it port 80. And then I put maybe the URL I'm trying to access in there. So I don't need to put all of these, but I can just say this guy is running on port 80. I mean, you get the idea. This is going a bit too far, but you get the idea. And then I can start typing things in here and say for instance, what server is running my SQL and seems vulnerable to SQL injection. Okay. So I'll keep notes this way, and the more of these boxes I do, the more of these notes I get, the more I cement my methodology. You can just save your notes somewhere safe. You can put a password on this. I generally don't. And so I think I'll just wait a bit for the scan to finish, and then we'll try attempt the page again. See if we can get something to help us do our SQL injection. Okay guys, so the video has gone on for a bit too long, so I'm going to pause this here and then I will do a part 2 so we can continue with the methodology and then complete gaining a flag and roots on this box. Thank you.